KatChat here. It's been a while since I did my reviews on my podcast because I realized doing a lot of movie reviews, I'm gonna pick whatever's really good and whatever throws in my way. I'm gonna pick and make volunteers to do that. Today we have Adua Ring, known as Hungry for Hallmark, with us today. We're gonna talk about the royal setting. There is Jen Lilley and Jeanotte. Director Bradley Walsh. The writers are Anthony Gordon and W. Dillon. Now, the whole concept, the whole plot of the movie and Ruby, played by Jen Lilley, in the well-known dramatologist. I had to really sound out the word with Jen Lilley the other day. Dramatologist. And she was hired by the royal family, especially personally by Prince Luca, who was played by Jeanotte. And they wanted to restore the royal family's crown jewels. And eventually he chose her to create a design for the crown when he becomes the next in line king. And it was a challenge with the tradition because he was trying to not break up the tradition, but trying to open up the traditions again with the palace, with the royal family, with the town, with the village, and that kind of to build the complicated relationship he had with his mother, the queen. So that's the whole concept of this movie. I am very thrilled to have Adua here on and just talk about the royal setting and the comeback of Jen Lilley back onto Hallmark.
Yay!
Definitely. So, starting off with the duo, what were your first impressions of the movie once you turn on and the movie began? What were your thoughts?
Well, first of all, seeing Jen, the opening credits, seeing her name made me so happy because it's been so long. So just seeing her name in the opening credits, I'm like, oh yes, Jen is back. I love it. Yeah, it was, I really enjoyed seeing how they kind of introduced her character with her mother in the first scene. I feel like looking back now, it kind of set the tone for the mother-child relationships that we see throughout the movie. Um, so I really enjoyed that intro. And then when they were showing Prince Luca, I thought like right off the bat that he was very, kind of laid back. I'm gonna go jogging with my bestie. No big deal. I'm not gonna be, I'm not like a stuffy prince. He just seemed very normal. And I just like how they set the tone for his personality that way.
Definitely. I mean, when I saw this movie, I was like really happy to hear that Jen was alongside with Dan Jeanotte because, again, I really enjoyed the parent wine and romance with them. And Jen did show me behind the scenes for that movie. I was like, I can't wait to see that movie because it seemed like so long because she was with GAD for a while and then now slowly make her way back to Hallmark. I felt
Yeah.
like the story of the movie was really interesting because it showed Taliban her relationship with her mother, and her mother got her full support with drums and was trying to encourage her to create her own design when it's not really out there. Cause she was like toying with the idea of playing. That's
Mhm.
why, most royal movies, typically the royal family are stuffy. Or
Yeah.
just like, hmm, hmm. You need
Right.
to have 25 bodyguards for you when you go jogging or down the street. But I feel like some movies, especially this movie, Prince Luca was just like um laid back,
Yeah.
flexible. I mean, yes, he was very serious about his world and that he was learning, okay, I'm gonna become the next king. Okay. But also he was wanting to make his father proud as well as his mother. And also he wanted to go back to the tradition, like because some royal families will open up their parents, some will not open up their parents. So it
Yeah.
was just a moment of the truth a moment of irritation between Ruby and her mother and Prince Luca and the Queen, and just to see how their lives are different, but they don't
Yeah,
know they're similar as well.
totally. Yes. I got the same vibe. Yeah. And even with what's her Jory and her
Yes,
mother, the Countess, there was a very, kind of strained relationship between them too. Um, it was very much focused on those relationships, I feel like throughout the whole movie with all the characters. Um, okay, never mind. Go on.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I realize, yeah, I know that sometimes with the war, the movie, the mother, they were trying to pair up their daughter, Princess or their son, Prince, with the not royal line, and they're trying to break the tradition. I'm in love with someone else. I like someone else. So I thought I find that very fascinating, but I did catch on earlier in the movie. There was something going on with the standard and jury. I was like, oh my,
Yes.
that's
Oh, right
so
away.
cute. I told the mom, I'm gonna knock it off. Don't worry about him. Just, no, don't bother him. So we will
Right.
get into that later once we talk about him. So tell me, what do you feel like the high part of the movie, like the positive part of the movie, and the low? Or did you feel like any part of the movie that you feel, why is it in here? I mean, we only saw 2 seconds of it and never heard of it again.
Right. Yeah, the part I would say I feel like it's a toss up between being a low and a high when the Countess came into Ruby's room and basically said, "It's time to go." And she was like,
Yeah, she
"What?
had no idea.
Why do I have to leave? The crown isn't even completed yet. I want to see how it turns out." And then once she leaves, it was just like such heartbreak for her. And then Prince Luca didn't even know that she had left until she was already, headed to the airport. And just seeing his reaction, and then his mother, the queen, seeing how it made him feel. I think it finally clicked for her. Okay, I think I made a mistake. I feel like that was a turning point in the movie, for most of them. Even the Countess, um, when she walked in on her daughter and Alexander in I think it was the game room, and they were, close. And then she's like, "What is going on here, actually?" And, then her daughter had the courage to finally tell her, "You know what? I'm in love with this man, not the prince. You can't force me." um you know and then everybody kind of realizes all at once, I just want what's best for my kid,
Definitely.
which
I thought that I was like, oh no. And I couldn't even think. I was like, okay, when I got to that part, I was like, okay, okay, what should happen? I couldn't find the conflict, or I couldn't find anything. I was like, in this another movie where there's like actually no conflict. Because last week movie 213, there was not actually a conflict, and I thought, oh,
I know.
it was like a easy big conflict, and everybody got involved to fix that. So I feel like this is another one, or I missed that, or it was very subtle. It wasn't obvious. So I had to
Right.
go back a few minutes and watch it again. I'm like, okay, I'm watching. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay. So I just have to blame the counter to get the stick out of her butt and
Right.
actually pay attention what's going on about it. I'm like, I don't like you, but you need to give it a chance and leave Luca alone, especially if you think I got it handled. Don't
Right.
worry about it. I'm gonna take care of it. But she swooped and just kind of like messed everything up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like the Countess was a little more controlling than she needed to be. Like,
Yeah.
He's not the queen. You are not calling the shots. Who do you think you are?
Exactly, exactly. Now, can we please talk about Brad or George?
Oh, my favorite part of the movie is Ruby's relationship with Fred slash George. It was the cutest.
To the high, Brad, to talk about the leave the table, you just in case I thought the violence was just, right into what? I'm gonna work here. Okay, I'm talking to myself, and she's not doing all of the jump. Every time she leaves, she goes, can I get a smile? Can I get a bye? Nope. Okay, I'm gonna
Okay,
go. I'm gonna go. And then the moment Brad turned to the camera, I was like, oh my God,
I
this is
know.
so cute.
I loved it. That first time he gave a smile after she walked out the door, it's like, oh my gosh, look at he has heart, he has a personality, and
Definitely.
she brought it out in him. So
Definitely. I mean,
cute.
I really liked it. And I met the John today. I was like, you and Brad or John, whatever his name, have a very unique relationship, even though he didn't talk. At the end of
Yeah,
the movie, she goes, you have no idea how many takes it had to do again with Brad, John. Hilarious. I was like, I'm sure, I'm sure. But I
yeah,
thought that was really cool because no, they have to follow the royal protocol and stuff. But at the same time, they're still a human being. I can't
yeah.
imagine. I can't imagine him standing there day or night, or what actually the royal guards do, or doing
Right,
the pageant, or in the pageant, or doing a dice show with their hunting. Tough
right.
job.
Right. And he's not used to people acknowledging him. And aside from probably, I would assume Luca would be the type to acknowledge him. They didn't show that, but just based on his personality. But everyone else in the palace, he's just a statue basically. So it was nice that you could see that he was appreciative of her interaction with him because he's just not used to that. It was so sweet.
Yeah, and I like how they did with a jewel on John near the with a label. She was like, "What is it from?" She looked at John. He just looked at her, and they clicked. I was
Yeah.
that is so sweet. I mean, but I like to see. It would be nice if we had a little bit of outtake or something of George stepping out of his protocol and maybe put the jam near all of his jam or
Yeah.
taking a small moment of appreciation and then scale back to the whole full movie. So I really enjoyed that. I mean, I feel like the
Yeah.
cast for this movie was just outstanding. They played all their parts well, the chemistry, the banter, the connection too.
Yes.
Definitely.
So perfect. Yeah. You could just, yeah, everything, no matter what the relationship, either between Ruby and Fred or between Ruby and Luca, all the relationships had very genuine, authentic feelings. Yeah,
Definitely.
it was great.
Out, out of the movie, what, of course, we talked about Brad and George, but I think he was one of the game dealers, like he stole the movie. But
Yeah.
also, I really liked the part when Ruby and Luca kind of paired up with matchmaking
Yes.
after festival. I mean, I really like small town or royal movies or any small town movie, but out of a different country, and they almost have these open markets or village market or festival really pretty. So I feel like with a spring vibe and Easter's coming up this weekend. That by Easter, spring, and the warm with the flowers, with everything. And Luca was like, oh, Alexander, can you grab some drink for us, take Joy with you or something. And Ruby was like, John, I need to pick up some flowers. You mind? And then she go off. And then I think, who wrote that? I think someone stepped in, tried to wait. No, don't go. No, no, no. Joy, gonna go with the dander. I will walk around with Ruby to talk about the coronation event. And then
Yeah.
when the moment comes, matchmaking. But this was another. skin theater because they were teaming up and they were realizing, like her, oh, you like him? Oh my God,
Yeah.
we need to do something.
Yes. Yeah, and it was like it was a nice little showcase of how Ruby and Luca work together so well. They were both on the same side, just immediately, um, just a great team in every way. It was so cute. Yeah, and I'm glad that, Jory and Alexandra got to have their alone time together because they probably don't ever get to do that. So it was sweet. His
Yeah.
bestie
So
doing that
how
for
do you
him.
feel about the dynamic with the relationship, like Ruby and her mom at the beginning of the movie and throughout the movie?
Mhm.
And we have the Queen and Luca. And then, of course, we have a friendship realization crushing between Jory and Alexander. How did you feel through the whole movie that they handled the realization that, oh, I need to stop flirting my son with this girl. He likes this girl. And she
Mhm.
likes someone else without making any assumption because she probably assumed. And I should hate the feeling that the royal family or the parents have the power and you're going to take her to the bar. You know,
Right.
no, I'm not. We don't like each other that way. I'm going to take someone else to the bar or I'll go by myself.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. You based on, the relationship between Ruby and her mom, it being very, very loving and very supporting. And her mom was always, her cheerleader, like, you can do this. You are capable, just, uplifting her. And Luca not being used to that with his mother, she was always, by the book, very just, we have to stick with protocol and tradition. And, having Ruby raised the way she is bringing that
Mm-hmm.
same thing to the table and opening up all of their, I don't know, horizons. So it's nice to see how her influence kind of unravels all the other relationships. And Luca is like, yeah, this is how I want to live my life. Happy. I want to do what makes me happy. And Ruby's like, so do I. I turns out I love to design crowns. I'm going to go back to my designing days and I'm not going to be scared. And, Luca's kind of presenting that same mentality to his mom. Like, we're still going to represent our heritage and our the royal line, but we can evolve and not be scared of that. So,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like with opening up the cast, open up the pilot, maybe 1 or 2 days of the week, because of course, royal family have to put up a united front to show the people that they care, they support, and they want to help. So really pretty. I mean, I really just like the concept we're going to talk about is doing behind the frame. But I really was really intrigued with the workroom that Ruby was in the game room and the vintage decor and everything. And I like all of their relationship because again, Ruby helped Luca. Luca helped Ruby, and they both helped Jory and Nathaniel, and that was the big pivot of the movie.
yeah.
You need to be able to be happy and being someone that you don't feel the same way. And
Yep.
got stuck with them. But the mother, the queen's happening. But it made me realize during that movie when everybody realized, oh,
Yeah.
oh, the queen, light bulb.
The
Oh, okay,
domino
so
effect.
well, go. If she makes you happy, go. We will figure it out how the protocol or the requirement, if it gets to that point where you guys are going to be together married. So
Mm.
that'll be another movie. So we'll see if that movie gets a sequel. But that'll be really nice.
That would be great. I bet that would
Me
be very
too.
welcome. Everybody would love that. Oh, please, Hallmark,
Oh.
let's do a
I gotta
sequel.
talk to Jen about that. I'm not me or do what came up with the sequel story. So let it know on the Wikipedia extract of the movie. But it needs to be filmed in between that. We could find some like royalty stuff between Illinois and Wisconsin.
Right.
Or go up north, more country like, and then we could just make something up there. And we don't really often have tornadoes here as much as they did up there, or Kansas, or Nebraska, or Oklahoma. So we'll be
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite moment? Do you have a favorite scene that you really enjoyed from the movie?
Oh man. Honestly, it was the one when Ruby was about to leave very abruptly, and she's saying goodbye to Fred slash George, and he comes to life. He basically, becomes a real man. That got me, and she was so taken aback by it. Um, and you can just see the influence that she's had on not just the whole, everyone else, the domino effect that she caused throughout the movie in a positive way, that she opened him up too, and you could see he has emotions, and he told her he gave the flowers to his mom,
Yes.
which there's another connection with the mother and son. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. It was just emotional.
Yeah, I really liked that part when he came to life and he started talking. Those
Yeah,
flowers, I gave them to my mother. Those were her favorite flowers. And the little snap, like, oh, I think you had a banana. So you do like banana. So she like keep really.
right.
I feel like there was so much of John in the character of this movie, especially if it was the first movie back at the Hallmark. And I'm
Yeah.
praying I will see her more on screen for Hallmark to get her back in the Hallmark with them the world that I think it was a perfect one because she normally usually really good at royal movies or of course with Dan Jeanotte because before I ended my chat with John, I was like there was one royal movie that I really enjoyed doing because which one is it? I'm a royalty wrapped Christmas with
Yeah.
Brendan Bear. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Jen. Oh yeah, that was such a good movie. He had so much fun to work with. So that was one of my favorite warrior movies of hers, along with Parent Wine, the Romance. And I also like You at Christmas because I
Yeah.
feel like they were really good. So I'm
Yes.
happy she's back.
So
That
happy.
part was good. I also like the little cute meet and greet part in the beginning where she like rolling her little thing because her car breaks down and she meets up with Luca. Don't get me started on the cookie. I was like, oh, John, that's not how you cooking. But there was like a little bit of cute moment I really like, but like you found the one with Friday John just really hit me because oh, we have another relationship with the mother and the son, but not too much. And I
Yeah.
like the cute little meet and greet and John does something John, even though she's an character of Ruby. It's like
Right.
I could totally see John doing that in real life, not whether she's acting or not.
Yes, I saw a few moments of that too, actually, and I said that to myself. And it was cool. I mean, she's always wonderful in any role she plays, but it was cool to see her in a more humor, some more comedy. And I know, well, we know Jen, the real Jen, and she can be really funny. And it's nice that they allowed her the opportunity to show that. So yeah, it was a nice introduction, back to Hallmark, that showing that she is multifaceted and she can really do anything. I
Yeah,
love her.
yeah, pretty much anything. So it's nice that Hallmark right now I feel like Hallmark is like of course shifting, coming up with a lot of new stuff or concept. And I really like how they made me give a chance to an actor or an actress in general to try something different. Because sometimes the pretty big movies or pretty big genre. They're like, okay, I think Jen is the kind of but with a little bit of humor, but not too much. But I feel like this was a really good movie because it was like humor all over. So it was like a rom-com with
Yeah.
romance and full-on comedy because her previous movies had some comedy, but it was like here, there, dry humor or just a little bit of humor. But I feel like this movie kind of like John had the rain. And plus she worked with Bradley Walsh on another movie
Yeah.
and Dan Jeanotte. So she already had the kind of like a welcome home connection with those two people along with the cast of the royal study.
Yes, yes. And one thing I really liked about her character is that she didn't have to work to crack him. She didn't have to, he wasn't, like stiff and wouldn't laugh at anything. They were always just on the same level from the
Mm,
beginning. That was really nice
definitely,
to see.
definitely. Behind the frame, the location, how did you feel the director Bradley was? How did you feel he handled that movie with all of these angles, the location, the zoom in, the zoom out, or specific techniques, the any spot or any particular of the movie that you really want to acknowledge and you really enjoy?
They did a beautiful job. I know that they filmed it in Canada. I can't remember the name of the town,
Yeah.
but I know it was in Canada. But without knowing that, you felt fully immersed in this fake fake country that they lived in, and it was giving royal vibes to me. I liked um the far away view of the entire palace and the land around it. That was really pretty. The garden festival was beautiful. Um, they just did a nice job making it look very springy yet royal with everybody's beautiful attire and the women in their floral dresses. It was very Kate Middleton to me with their fascinators on their heads. I really got a good springy royal feeling from all of it. And the palace, the inside, the interior was really authentic looking to me too.
Yeah. I really
Hmm.
enjoyed that because I really like how they, like when they were talking about the jam and the importance of the crown and the jam and the history behind it and how they like zoom it in or like really focus. You could see the colors, you could see the sparkle, that the main point of the movie, crown jewel, to put down royal study, not just about the palace, the prince, or that about the jewel, because he wanted to restore them and maybe display them and then share them while these are important and move it along to his position as the king. Also, for Ruby, it was a notch in her career, and maybe she could go into places with actually designing something, not just restoring gems. And I felt like the director did a really good shot of that. And I like how they did a 360 view of the palace and just the feel, just to get the idea of the royalty countryside vibe. Like you could see, oh, they're out there in the country and around, you can see how close they are with the village or far away. So
Yeah.
it's typically kind of like that. The vibe, the spring, the royalty, the flowers. I thought it was fantastic. And filming out in the middle of the open field for some, I have to remember what scene that was when they were filming out in the open field. They were out in the middle of nowhere. I can't remember
Yeah.
that.
Is
But
it is it when she was like leaving and coming back or
I think so, maybe
car broke
leaving.
down?
Either way, because it was in the same area. But I thought it was
Yeah.
fantastic, though. Just curious, and I probably, hopefully, will have him come on so I could pick on his director brain about this movie. But I always like to ask director one camera or more cameras. But I know Highland Thieves was the challenge for two movies, one camera. I was like, how in the world you do that? The really amazing.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
going behind the scene, the like location. Can we talk about her wardrobe? She rocked her wardrobe. I like the whole pink pantsuit outfit. Oh my, even though pink is not my color. I don't like pink. I don't like pink. I'm sorry. But
It's
that
okay.
pink pantsuit on her rocked it.
Perfection. Actually, the first thing I thought of when I saw her in that suit was her devotional, Wake Up Your Faith.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is the same exact color, and I feel like it was kind of an homage to her devotional too. I loved it. I loved the color in general, but on her it was perfection. And yeah, the rest of the movie, her dress for the festival, the garden festival,
Yes,
so pretty.
yes,
Yeah, just they hit a home run with the wardrobe.
definitely, definitely. Now this whole movie, the theme, what was the purpose of the movie? What kind of message you feel like the movie was sharing? That we talked about tradition,
Yeah,
keeping the tradition by the book, carrying on for thousands of this generation. And then we have a young prince or young princess who are stepping up into a queen role or a king role. And of course, they want to change it to be more modern or more their time, their generation, but they try to implement both traditions without actually breaking them. You could say bending them or
right.
changing that.
Yeah,
And of
yeah,
course, relationship between mom and daughter, mom and son, or the right hand man and her some other princess, Compton, whatever her petition was. I'm so sorry, I don't remember. But
yeah,
tell me about it. What did you think? That's what my feelings or thoughts are. Which tradition could be
yeah.
broken or not meant to be broken, but adjusting across the relationship and how they impacted each other one to another.
Yes, definitely. There were so many layers to to focus in on, I feel like in this movie. And 100% the mother and son or daughter relationships were probably top. It was very nice to see how all the relationships evolved
Hmm.
um, by the influence of Ruby and her mother too. Even though you don't see Ruby's mother that much, you still can feel how she influenced her and then how Ruby influenced everyone else and it just kind of all intertwined. Um One of the other, like deep takeaways I'm taking is not only was Ruby there, she was there to, restore the crown jewels, but she was also there to restore relationships. And she accomplished that. She didn't know she was there to do that, but just her personality and her opening up the door to designing the crown, it just kind of, it all came together in just a nice, beautiful little royal bow, you know?
Definitely. I mean, I know it's like a rediscovery for Ruby to open up. She said,
Yeah,
"Oh, I could do this. I could do this." And she goes down and designing pieces, and that maybe not just the crown. So maybe for the sequel, she could open up her royal shop in the village and restore anything in the village, whether it's not a royal palace, it could be anybody in the village who had really family heirloom that they want to keep or antique. And, and then she comes up with a challenge that she had to do. I don't know, I'm just throwing an idea for a possible sequel for the royal setting. Because that would be really nice. But
yeah.
again, open up opportunity to do for Ruby and for Luca himself when he becomes the crown and king.
Yes, yes. I really liked how thoughtful she was of the meaning behind each jewel. The first thing she said early on was, "These aren't gems. These are organic works of art." And then later, after she presents the crown to Luca and the queen, she describes, this is what this jewel represents, and this is what this jewel represents. And she took into account, his father's legacy and what Luca is bringing to the table in this newer generation. And she was just very thoughtful of all of it. And you could see that it was like a real passion of hers coming through. I loved that.
Yeah, and I really liked how she worked with Luca about the crown because sometimes he's a very simple man. He's not very gaudy or flamboyant or with all of the
Yeah.
big crown kind of the ruby, and then we thought I found it down, it was very elegant, very simple with one big jewel and maybe a little bit around it. So I felt like she really stepped up and took his word, his consideration, and his believe, and she tried to make it work, and he was like, "Oh wow, what is this?" She goes, "I'm just working on some ideas for the crowd. No, she goes, "Can I see it?" So I felt like that was really good because sometimes most people will just take it down to that. They don't put an effort or meaning to create the design now these days.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So wrapping up everything, what is of course, what did you think about the parents, Jen and Dan, working together again for this movie? And is there another storyline or a different genre that you want them to do together in a different kind of movie?
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, there's no question. They're magical together. I've always loved Paris Wine and Romance,
Yes.
and their chemistry in that movie was awesome. So I was very excited to see that they were going to be together again, and they did not disappoint at all. I would love to see them again in something else. And they do that on Hallmark. When a couple works, they put them together in multiple movies in different characters, different roles. I don't even know. A sequel would be great with, the continuation of this, like his coronation or even a royal wedding, something on a bigger scale. Um, maybe a Christmas movie with them.
That would be nice. A
I mean,
Christmas movie or a wedding movie or something with war. I mean, I just thought I have another idea. For the sequel, they could be in the sequel, but also at the same time, whatever Xander and Joey get an age. And then they try to come up with a not
yeah,
so royalty wedding, and that one Luca popped the question to Ruby.
I
Something
love,
like that for the
oh, I love
sequel.
it. Oh, this is good. Or they could
Yeah,
have a double wedding,
yeah, definitely.
Tori and Alexander, Luca and Ruby.
We got shut down some idea to send them over to Jen, send them to Hallmark, but me and the duet get the credit, okay? Okay? We can maybe help us develop a script if we can, but who knows?
Let's make this happen.
Definitely. All right, thank you. That really wrapped up the whole review of a royal setting. Again, if you have not got seen the royal setting of Dreaming on Hallmark Plus, and make sure you subscribe to KatChat Podcast as well as Hungry for Hallmark, and both of our names are the same over on Instagram. So follow us and watch our content, and we have Hungry for Hallmark who comes up with these amazing creative recipe for almost all Hallmark movies that have aired. So if you have not checked that out,
Thank
please
you.
check it out and tune in a couple of weeks when I have more reviews to talk about. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.